I'm about to reveal the 12 productivity strategies that transformed my chaos into clarity in 2025, and they won't cost you a single penny. These aren't your typical time management tips. These are the exact methods backed by 2025 research showing AI automation saves professionals up to 60 minutes per day. The best part? Every single one of these hacks leverages technology and insights that most people still don't know exists. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and want to join the top 1% who seem to effortlessly get everything done, stick around because what I'm sharing next will transform your workflow starting this week. The first thing you need to understand is that speed matters more than you think. Master your digital speed. Here's a scenario that perfectly illustrates this principle. Two marketing managers with similar experience levels worked on identical client presentations. The first person finished in 22 minutes, while the second took over 2 hours to complete the exact same task. Both were competent professionals, but one operated with what I call digital velocity, while the other struggled through every click and keystroke. The difference wasn't intelligence or training. It was something most people never think about, and it's costing you hours every single day. The faster professional never touched their mouse during the entire session. They navigated everything through keyboard shortcuts, switched between applications instantly, and even formatted text without looking at menus. Meanwhile, the slower person clicked through every single menu, scrolled around looking for buttons, and typed responses that the first person generated with voice commands in seconds. This is digital velocity, and it's the single biggest productivity multiplier you can develop in 2025. Most professionals operate their computers like they're driving in first gear when fifth gear is available. Your cursor sensitivity right now is probably set to the default speed, which is designed for beginners, not power users. Go into your system settings and increase your mouse sensitivity to 2.5 times the normal speed. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable for the first few days, but your brain adapts quickly and you'll cut navigation time in half. The same principle applies to everything you do digitally. The software you use every day got major updates in 2025 with AI-powered shortcuts that can cut navigation time in half. Tools like Notion, Slack, and Gmail now have context-aware features that predict what you need before you ask for it. These aren't experimental features, they're production-ready tools that the fastest professionals already use daily. Voice-to-text technology crossed a major threshold in 2025, reaching 99.2% accuracy for standard speech patterns. This means speaking is now genuinely faster than typing for most people. The average person types 40 words per minute but speaks 150 words per minute. Enable voice input on your devices and start dictating emails, messages, and documents instead of typing them. Your phone, tablet, and computer all have native voice recognition that works offline, so there's no privacy concerns about cloud processing. Here's where most people stop, but the real productivity gains come from automation. Make.com and Zapier both launched natural language interfaces in 2025 that let you describe workflows in plain English instead of building complex integrations. You can literally say, "Automate my email processing," and the AI creates workflows that sort, prioritize, and even draft responses to common message types. Research shows AI-driven automation can reduce email handling time by up to 90 minutes daily. The setup process takes 15 minutes. Connect your email account to Make.com or Zapier, then describe your workflow like this: process my emails twice daily, identify high-priority messages from clients and team members, create summaries of low-priority emails, and draft responses for meeting requests and common questions. The AI builds the entire workflow automatically, and you can customize the priority rules based on your specific needs. Your brain will resist these changes because familiar workflows feel safer, even when they're inefficient. This resistance isn't logical, it's psychological. The discomfort you feel when using faster mouse settings or learning new shortcuts is temporary, but most people quit during this adjustment period. Push through the first week of awkwardness, because muscle memory develops quickly and the speed gains become permanent. Start with one change at a time instead of overhauling everything simultaneously. The compound effect of digital speed optimization is massive. When you save 30 seconds on tasks you do 50 times per day, that's 25 minutes of reclaimed time. Multiply that across all your digital interactions, and you're looking at hours of additional capacity. Research tracking professionals who implemented comprehensive digital speed training found they completed identical workloads in 40% less time without sacrificing quality. Voice commands work for more than just dictation. Your smartphone can set reminders, create calendar events, send messages, and launch applications faster than manual navigation. Instead of opening your calendar app, scrolling to the right date, and tapping to create an event, just say, "Schedule team meeting Thursday 2 p.m., conference room B." The entire process takes 3 seconds instead of 30 seconds, and the accuracy is perfect. Advanced users combine multiple speed techniques into workflows that seem impossible to outsiders. They dictate emails, while formatting documents, use keyboard shortcuts to switch between applications, and employ AI assistants to handle routine tasks simultaneously. This isn't about being busy, it's about achieving the same results with dramatically less effort and time investment. Here's your challenge for this week. Go to 10fastfingers.com and test your current typing speed. Then pick one digital speed improvement to implement immediately. Either increase your mouse sensitivity, learn 3 new keyboard shortcuts for your most used application, or set up basic email automation. Time yourself doing a routine task before and after the change, then multiply that time savings by how often you do that task monthly. The numbers will shock you. Digital speed creates capacity for work that actually matters. When routine tasks take half the time, you have twice as much energy for creative problem solving and strategic thinking. But here's what most people miss about productivity: the strategic elimination method. The secret isn't adding more to your day, but strategically removing the right things. Most people approach productivity backwards. They keep piling on systems, tools, and techniques when the real breakthrough comes from cutting out everything that doesn't matter. I discovered my own low-value tasks consumed 80% of my work week when I audited my time, and the results shocked me. The revelation hit me during a particularly brutal week where I worked 70 hours but accomplished almost nothing meaningful. I had attended 6 meetings that could have been emails, responded to dozens of non-urgent messages, reorganized my desk twice, and spent hours on tasks that felt important but moved nothing forward. Meanwhile, the one project that could have transformed my business sat untouched because I was too busy being busy. That's when I realized I wasn't managing my time, I was letting my time manage me. This phenomenon has a name: productivity debt, and it works exactly like financial debt. Each low-value task your brain defaults to creates a compounding drain that undermines your impactful work. When you spend 15 minutes on a meaningless task, you don't just lose those 15 minutes, you lose the momentum, focus, and mental clarity needed for important work afterward. These small time leaks add up to massive productivity drains that most people never recognize because they feel productive while doing them. The 2025 Workplace Analytics reveals something that should terrify every ambitious professional. Only 7% of daily activities drive 93% of career advancement. As Pareto's 80-20 rule shows, 20% of your tasks drive 80% of your results. But the updated data shows the concentration is even more extreme. This means that if you work 10 hours per day, roughly 42 minutes of that time actually moves your career forward, while the remaining 9 hours and 18 minutes keep you busy, but don't create meaningful progress. The gap between high performers and everyone else isn't talent or effort, it's the ability to identify and focus on that crucial 7%. Most people can't identify their time drains because they don't measure them systematically. Here's the energy audit method that reveals exactly where your time goes. Start with your smartphone screen time data, which shows precisely how many hours you spend on each app and website. Then export your calendar data for the past 90 days and categorize every meeting and appointment by impact level. Finally, track your energy levels throughout typical days, noting when you feel focused versus drained. This data combination reveals patterns that shock most people. The energy audit typically shows that people spend 3 to 4 hours daily on activities that provide zero career advancement. Social media browsing, low-priority emails, unnecessary meetings, and busy work consume massive amounts of time while generating no meaningful outcomes. Armed with this data, you can create what I call a never-again list, documenting every regrettable time investment from the past 90 days and committing to never repeat those mistakes. Your never-again list should include specific activities, not general categories. Instead of writing meetings, write status update meetings that cover information already available in project management tools. Instead of writing social media, write checking Instagram stories during work hours. The more specific your list, the easier it becomes to recognize these time traps when they appear in your schedule. Review this list weekly and add new items as you identify them. The psychological difficulty of saying no prevents most people from implementing strategic elimination effectively. Your brain interprets declining requests as social rejection, which triggers stress responses that make you want to agree to everything. The solution isn't willpower, it's having prepared scripts that allow you to decline gracefully while maintaining relationships. When someone asks for your time, try this response: I appreciate you thinking of me for this, but I'm not able to take this on right now, given my current commitments. This acknowledges their request, shows respect, and provides a clear boundary, without lengthy explanations or excuses. The delegation revolution happening in 2025 makes outsourcing accessible to professionals at every level, not just executives. AI assistants can handle email management, social media posting, data entry, and customer service interactions for less than minimum wage. Global remote talent platforms connect you with skilled professionals who can complete administrative work, creative projects, and technical tasks at rates that make delegation profitable even for individual contributors. Virtual assistants in countries with lower cost of living can handle tasks like calendar management, travel booking, research, and content creation for $5 to $15 per hour. When your time is worth $50 per hour for strategic work, but you're spending it on $10 per hour administrative tasks, you're literally losing money by not delegating. People who master strategic elimination report 60% less stress while achieving better results because they're no longer fighting against their own productivity systems. They spend their time on work that actually matters, which creates momentum and satisfaction that busy work never provides. The transformation isn't immediate, but the compound effects are massive when you consistently choose impact over activity. But elimination alone isn't enough. Once you've cleared the clutter from your schedule, you need something to drive consistent execution on what remains. Artificial urgency engineering. The most productive people in 2025 don't wait for real deadlines, they manufacture fake ones. And this counterintuitive approach is what separates high performers from everyone else. While most professionals procrastinate until external pressure forces them into action, the top 1% create their own time constraints weeks or months before anything is actually due. This isn't about being paranoid or overly cautious. It's about understanding that urgency is the most powerful focus enhancer available, and you don't need to wait for someone else to create it for you. Waiting for natural urgency creates a cascade of problems that most people never connect to their productivity struggles. When you rely on real deadlines, you're forcing yourself into reactive mode, where there's no time for creative iteration, quality improvements, or strategic thinking. The work becomes about meeting minimum requirements rather than exceeding expectations, and the stress of last-minute execution affects everyone around you, including teammates, clients, and family members who have to deal with your emergency mindset. This is where controlled pressure becomes your secret weapon. Instead of letting external circumstances dictate your stress levels, you deliberately create time constraints that enhance focus without creating chaos. Controlled pressure means setting personal deadlines that feel urgent enough to activate your brain's focus networks, but distant enough from real deadlines to allow for multiple rounds of improvement. The key difference between controlled pressure and panic is that you maintain choice and flexibility while still benefiting from urgency-driven focus. The buffer zone strategy transforms how you approach every project and commitment in your life. For every real deadline, set a personal deadline 2 to 3 weeks earlier and treat that fake deadline as if missing it would have serious consequences. This buffer period isn't meant for procrastination. It's designed for creative iteration, where you complete the work to your personal deadline, then use the remaining time to refine, improve, and perfect the output. Most breakthrough ideas and quality improvements happen during revision phases that only exist when you create artificial urgency early in the process. Time pressure activates your brain's focus networks, including the anterior cingulate cortex and prefrontal cortex, which control attention and executive function. When your brain perceives a deadline approaching, it automatically filters out distractions, increases processing speed, and prioritizes relevant information over background noise. This neurological response happens whether the deadline is real or artificial, which means you can trigger enhanced focus whenever you choose, rather than waiting for external circumstances to force it. The traditional Pomodoro technique gets a major upgrade in 2025 with AI integration that transforms simple time blocking into intelligent productivity sessions. Pomodoro 2.0 uses 45-minute deep work blocks instead of 25-minute sessions, because research shows that most people need 15 to 20 minutes to reach peak focus, and traditional Pomodoros end right when you're getting into flow state. Research shows our minds cycle every 90 minutes. Use that window for creative work. After each 45-minute work session, you take a 15-minute AI-assisted review, where artificial intelligence analyzes your output, suggests improvements, identifies gaps, and helps you prepare for the next work block. Calendar blocking becomes your primary tool for creating artificial urgency across multiple projects simultaneously. Block specific time slots for each project and treat those calendar appointments as seriously as you would treat meetings with your most important clients. Use different colors for different projects and include specific deliverables in each calendar block, so you know exactly what needs to be completed during that time. Most professionals who struggle with artificial urgency fail because they create vague commitments instead of specific time-bound tasks with clear outcomes. Public commitment apps like Beeminder or StickK allow you to create financial consequences for missing your artificial deadlines, which adds real stakes to fake urgency. You can commit to completing specific tasks by certain dates and lose money if you miss those self-imposed deadlines. The psychological impact of potential financial loss makes artificial deadlines feel as urgent as real ones, because your brain can't distinguish between different types of consequences. Start with small financial commitments like $20 and increase the stakes as you build confidence in your ability to meet self-imposed deadlines. The difference between productive pressure and destructive stress determines whether artificial urgency helps or hurts your performance. Productive pressure feels challenging but manageable, with clear next steps and reasonable timelines. Destructive stress feels overwhelming with unclear requirements and impossible deadlines that create anxiety instead of focus. Warning signs include sleep disruption, constant worry about deadlines, and inability to focus during work sessions. Professionals who implement artificial urgency systems complete projects 35% faster with higher quality outcomes because they're getting the benefits of deadline pressure without the costs of last-minute execution. They have time for multiple drafts, creative exploration, and thorough testing, while still maintaining the focus intensity that urgency provides. But even the best artificial urgency systems have one critical weakness. They depend entirely on your personal willpower to maintain momentum. Social accountability amplification. That's where social accountability becomes your productivity multiplier. Research shows that individuals are significantly more likely to achieve their goals when another person is counting on them. This isn't motivational fluff. This is hard science from 2025 research that tracked thousands of professionals across different industries and goal types. The data shows that social accountability creates a biological response in your brain that willpower alone cannot match. Your nervous system treats commitments to other people as survival-level priorities, while personal commitments get processed as optional suggestions that you can ignore without consequences. The failure rate of solo productivity efforts should terrify anyone serious about achieving their goals. According to 2025 analysis, solo productivity efforts fail 92% of the time, while collaborative commitments show significantly higher success rates over the same period. Most people blame their lack of discipline or motivation for these failures, but the real problem is that human beings evolved as social creatures who need external validation and pressure to maintain consistent behavior. Working alone removes the social dynamics that kept our ancestors alive and productive in tribal environments. I discovered this truth during my worst productivity period, when I spent 6 months trying to build a morning routine using every app book and system available. Despite buying expensive planners, setting phone alarms, and creating elaborate reward systems, I couldn't maintain the routine for more than 4 days straight. The breakthrough came when I mentioned my struggle to a colleague who was dealing with similar challenges. We decided to text each other photos of our morning workouts at 6 a.m. every day, and suddenly both of our consistency rates jumped to over 90%. The routine that seemed impossible alone became automatic when another person expected proof of completion. The 2025 accountability ecosystem has been reshaped by remote work, creating new avenues for finding commitment partners globally. This shift has made it easier to connect with like-minded individuals who share similar goals, regardless of location. Platforms like FocusMate provide virtual co-working sessions that boost focus, while BeMinder creates financial stakes through loss aversion psychology. These connections often become more reliable than local relationships because they're built specifically around shared objectives rather than social convenience. The most effective accountability systems use multiple layers that serve different psychological needs. Your progress witness is someone who checks in regularly to track your consistency and momentum without necessarily having deep knowledge of your field. This person provides the social pressure needed to maintain daily habits while offering encouragement during difficult periods. The key is finding someone who understands the importance of regular check-ins and can provide honest feedback about your progress patterns. Most accountability relationships fail because they become one-sided, where one person does all the supporting while the other just receives help. Structure your partnerships to be mutually beneficial by identifying what you can offer in return for the accountability you receive. If someone helps you stay consistent with your writing schedule, offer to review their marketing materials or provide feedback on their projects. When both people benefit from the relationship, the commitment level increases dramatically, because ending the partnership costs both parties something valuable. Approaching potential accountability partners requires specific scripts that make the request feel professional rather than needy. Try this opener. I'm working on improving my consistency with daily goal achievement, and I'm looking for someone who might want to do weekly check-ins where we both report our progress and problem-solve any obstacles. Would you be interested in a 15-minute call each Friday to discuss what we accomplished and what we're planning for the following week? This approach positions accountability as a mutual business arrangement rather than a favor request, which increases acceptance rates and sets professional expectations. Many professionals avoid accountability partnerships because they worry about appearing vulnerable or incompetent when they admit to struggling with basic productivity habits. The reality is that sharing struggles builds stronger professional relationships than pretending everything is perfect. When you're honest about your challenges, other people reciprocate with their own struggles, which creates mutual respect and genuine connection. The most successful business relationships often start with shared acknowledgement of common problems rather than impressive achievements. Vulnerability in professional settings demonstrates self-awareness and commitment to improvement, which are attractive qualities in colleagues and business partners. When you tell someone, I've been struggling to maintain consistency with my content creation schedule, and I'm looking for accountability, most people respond positively because they relate to similar challenges. This honesty creates opportunities for mutual support that polished networking conversations never achieve. Individuals with structured accountability systems achieve goals 65% more consistently than those working alone, according to 2025 studies. Your brain treats commitments to other people as contractual obligations that trigger shame and social anxiety when broken, while personal commitments feel optional and negotiable. This psychological difference explains why you can skip your own workout without stress, but feel terrible about canceling plans with a friend. The multiplier effect of accountability extends beyond the specific goals you're tracking together. When you know someone is counting on you to complete daily tasks, your overall discipline improves across all areas of life.